ICE announced this week international students must leave the country if their university only offers online classes in the fall. If not, students could face possible deportation. Harvard University and MIT filed a federal lawsuit today challenging the rule. Tonight, Eyewitness News reporter Vanessa Croy explains how one San Antonio university is supporting its international students this fall.
The announcement from Immigration and Customs Enforcement says that international students must take a partial course load of in-person classes, or they'll be forced to leave the country. And their only other option is to transfer to another university that offers in-person classes in the fall.
I know a lot of folks were concerned when they saw that, if this didn't happen or if the school went online, the students might be deported.
Dr. Glenn James is the vice provost at University of the Incarnate Word.
Every year we have about 350 or 400 international students that come from all over the place and anywhere from 70 to 100 different countries.
He says these temporary restrictions are similar to what was already in place, where students were given 10 days to return home if they were only taking online classes.
Because the purpose of the visa is so they can be here and share the culture and interact with everyone.
And after the coronavirus pandemic moved everything online a few months ago, Immigration and Customs Enforcement loosened some restrictions, and the university responded.
And they arranged for in-person sessions that entire week and added up the contact hours for all of those individual 350 students. And they met their visa requirements.
James said they'll make whatever modifications possible in the fall to keep their valued international students on campus.
And so it's essential to have those students with us, both to learn about them, but to learn about ourselves.
UIW leaders will be reviewing their plan for the fall semester tomorrow and hope to release that plan later this week. Dr. James also told us that they anticipate more information from ICE with details on what to expect for the upcoming semester. Vanessa Croy, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.